I'm Gwen Preston of Resource Maven. We're here at the Metals Investor Forum in Vancouver at the start of November, and I'm happy to be joined by Chad Peters of Ridgeline Minerals. Thanks for being here.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
So Ridgeline, I'm super excited to have you back here because you haven't been here in a little while, and in that time, you've done a huge amount of work and then validated a bunch of that work with some drilling. So I'm starting there because I'd love you to set the scene of the Selena project, where there's this porphyry over to one side to the west that Freeport's now exploring, which is interesting. And you had a concept about the kinds of mineralization that emanated out from that porphyry.
Yes.
You want to take us through that process a bit?
Yeah. So it's actually when I first time I ever pitched here, I was pitching it as a gold play.
Totally.
I think
because you were the stuff way out, the distal stuff is gold.
Yeah.
Right?
So and that's made this project sometimes tough to tell a story on, right? Because how come we're drilling over here and we're hitting gold, and then we drill over here and we hit kilogram per ton silver.
Yeah.
And then drill in another spot and we hit multi% lead and zinc.
Yeah.
So it what we realized as we were slowly and just kind of systematically drilling this thing off was, okay, we're not in a typical kind of Carlin type or system. We're in a porphyry-driven CRD, carbonate replacement deposit and that's usually dominated by silver, lead, and zinc, plus or minus copper, plus or minus gold, depending on the region that you're in, right? So you go down to Arizona, the CRD is going to be mostly base metal and copper.
Right. Nevada,
you get a gold-enriched CRD, and that's what we're drilling. So, and we realized, we've now proven that right from the edge of the project, which has the porphyry, for 8 kilometers, we have continuous mineralization that is just zoning and transitioning into different metal types as you get farther away from this porphyry, which is your heat source. So hot rocks like copper, hot zones, you'll have copper, you'll have silver, you'll have base metals. And then as that fluid cools, you get the lower temperature stuff like silver, then gold only. And so that's kind of the story. And I think having Freeport now join, like you mentioned, having them come in, we didn't expect to see that, but having them come in and do a $33 million US joint venture with a private company that owned that porphyry, I think just validates the level and scale of system that we're exploring at Selena. Freeport doesn't come in and mess around and work on piddly little things, right? They're looking for world-class deposits. That certainly, at least indirectly, validates what we're doing at Selena too. So it's exciting.
Absolutely. Okay, so for sure at the beginning, you were focused, like we said, on the more distal part, the cooler part that was mostly a gold oxide that's way out there. Then in the middle, you get this gold silver sediment hosted gold silver situation with some other metals in there, but mostly gold silver. That's chinchilla and a few juniper and a few other zones that are sort of lined up. And that's where you're doing work right now. So do you want to describe for anybody who's looking at drill results that will start coming out in the next little while? You've already outlined a few nice zones there. But there's some more work that you're doing, both in terms of understanding the actual grade of those zones and testing whether there's a deeper horizon that might also be prospective.
Yeah, exactly. So everything we focused on early days was all shallow. Then this spring we drilled the CRD target, which again, if we're, it felt a little arm wavy for a while there, right? Like, hey, everybody, we think that we have this. So we wanted to drill, we drilled 2.5 kilometers back towards that porphyry. Both holes drilled hit, right?
I mean, this is amazing. You say that in passing, but to take a 2.5 kilometer step out on a theory that there's CRD mineralization and to hit with 2 holes that are that much of a step out, I mean, it was a phenomenal moment. Yeah,
no, it was huge for us. And unfortunately, the market did not respond the way we'd hoped. But for us, we're just keeping our head down, right? Like we now know we hit the highest grade gold and the highest grade zinc we've ever drilled on the project with both of those holes. Those holes were spaced 1.5 kilometers apart, and then they were also 2 kilometers from the main deposit. So just think of the scale of
just that.
Just the scale that we've defined with those 2 holes, plus it really shows how huge this is. So what we're focusing on with this program is we're not going after these 700 meter deep drill intercepts, right? Those, I think that is the future of the project. That's the core of the system. But those are expensive and the kind of drill holes I don't want to drill right now. So with the cash we have on hand, we got about $2.5 million in the bank. We're going to put about $400,000 into drilling shallow, still very high grade. I mean, we're following up on holes at Juniper, for example, that are running kilogram per ton silver and multi-gram gold starting 10 meters below surface. So it's incredible. And then at Chinchilla, we've hit both widespread, potentially open pittable oxide intercepts of silver and gold. And we've also hit high grades of up to 4.6 meters of 400 grams silver and a gram gold and 8% lead zinc in those areas. So what we're trying to show is we're trying to show scale, we're trying to show grade with this program and all shallow, right? In the future, as we raise more cash, the project develops, absolutely want to be putting energy into that deeper target, but there's a time and a place for that, and that's not right now.
Out of curiosity, Freeport coming in and optioning this porphyry right beside you surprised, I think, most people. Did it surprise you? I mean, I'm trying to ask you how much conversation you have with Freeport, but I'm curious.
Full transparency, I had no idea.
You had no idea. Okay,
no,
okay.
We didn't, because I mean, a lot of those groups operate very clandestine kind of operations,
sure.
right? Very quiet. I've done deals with other big groups, and they're always very quiet about it. So I knew that there was something big there. Like, we knew that the company who owned it, the private company, they'd been drilling that thing all summer.
Oh,
no news, nothing.
Oh,
but you don't drill $1 million drill holes unless you think you're onto something.
Right.
So we knew that there was something they were excited about.
Interesting.
Did we anticipate a drill with Freeport, a deal with Freeport? Not at all.
Okay.
But obviously they're hitting something interesting there, and I think it bodes really well for the future of the project.
For sure. If you have a metal, a richly metal-bearing porphyry, and right beside exactly the right kind of carbonate rocks in the right layering for CRD mineralization, I mean, that's exactly validates the theory that you spent 2 years developing.
And you can look at, like, their press release. They said they're going to be drilling 6,000 foot drill holes. So almost 2,000 meter holes, right?
Yeah,
so
crazy.
They're chasing a resolution. They're they're chasing a deep Grasberg, or, like, those are the kind of deposits where you can go after 6,000 foot holes. You got to have high grade copper, right?
Yeah.
So we think there's a big copper system there that is zoning out into Selena. We've proven that zonation pattern is real. So I think now it's a matter of, I think the project's at a point where we now need to advance to a resource, right? Like, it's kind of, we can't just keep on poking holes and saying, look how great this is, kind of thing, right? Like, look how smart we are. We figured out a zonation pattern, but we actually need to, like, show some, I think we need to quantify what that is now. So the first step will be a shallow oxide, potentially open pittable resource, which then hopefully shows shows expansion potential. Right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So.
Okay, we've spent this whole time talking about Selena. Selena is not the only project that Ridgeline owns. Let's talk about Swift as well. Swift is a project that you have in a good joint venture with Nevada Gold Mines.
Yes. Yeah, and to be honest, Swift was one of our kind of key projects for years. I mean, when we probably first time we were here, I was probably pitching gold at Selena.
Yeah,
I was probably pitching Swift as our flagship. Right?
Yeah.
So we did this deal with Nevada Gold Mines specifically because we felt we'd advanced Selena to a point where this thing truly is a flagship project. And in order to move that forward and put our energy into that, we saw an opportunity to do the deal with Nevada Gold Mines. There's huge potential of this project, but we're talking early stage, deep exploration.
Right.
The kind of deep kind of exploration that can break companies. I mean, it's broken multiple. We don't need to name names, but there's multiple juniors in Nevada who've broken their pit.
Who have these targets that are 1,000 meters down, and they're very needle in a haystack, and they cost a lot to drill. So that's why they can break companies.
And if you're not successful, you're in trouble, right?
Exactly.
So we saw that as a potential future for this company, right? Is, hey, if we keep trying to force this, we could end up totally diluted out and stuff. So what we're now focusing on is we did this deal. Nevada Gold Mines is putting $30 million potentially. They can elect to put $30 million to earn up to 70%.
Yeah.
They're drilling that project right now. Big wide spaced holes looking for system. Over 1,000 meters on each drill hole. So big, deep holes. We're pretty excited to see the results come out, which should be in, I'm hoping, the first quarter of 2023.
Right.
We have full press release capability, so we'll be able to keep our shareholders up to date on it. And, if they have any success, it'd obviously be a game changer for the company, right? So, yeah.
Exciting days. So I'm sure you're excited to be drilling again after lots of after theoretical work and then these big step outs into the CRD system, and you'll have a busy start to 2023.
Yeah, we planned it well, right? We're hammering all of our a full year's worth of drill results into like 2 months in 2023. But yeah, no, we're really excited. I mean, drilling is what adds value to companies, right? Absolutely. And I mean, we can talk all day long, but until the drill bit proves it, I think it's always up in the air. So we're really excited to get some results out for our shareholders.
Fantastic. Well, thanks for being here and for the update.
Thanks.